This is the Solid Signal Podcast for the week of May 17th, 2021. And the subject of this week's podcast is big antennas, who needs them? You know, at Solid Signal, we sell the biggest over-the-air antenna that you can get, the HD 8200 XL. And for the folks who do need it, it's a great antenna. It'll pull in stations from about as far away as you can get. It's a hybrid Yagi log periodic antenna that will receive channels all the way from 2 to 83, even though we don't have 83 anymore. So it's going to cover you no matter what you do. But it is big. It's about 9 feet long and about 7-8 feet wide at its widest point. I don't know. It's so wide that I couldn't even measure it with anything that I had. This, my friends, is a big antenna. And as I said, if it's the kind of thing that you need, that's great. But a lot of folks don't, and I'll tell you why. There are very few stations in the country that broadcast on channels 2 through 6. And the thing is with antennas, the lower the channel number, the bigger the antenna that you need. So the widest parts of this antenna are dedicated to just receiving channels 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, which chances are in your market you don't get. There are a few markets that still do, and you can go to places like tvfool.com and put in your zip code to see what real channels you're broadcasting on. But in most cases, not only do you not have what we call a VHF low channel in your market, but most of the VHF high channels are ones that you can skip anyway. It's funny, in the really big markets, you have some of these stations that hold on to their original broadcast channels, perhaps because of some sort of sentimentality. But honestly, most of them don't. Most of them just, they've moved on. They've reassigned to higher channels. And yes, they still call themselves Channel 2, Channel 7, whatever. But that's not their real broadcast frequency. And it probably hasn't been for over a decade. You see, with the PSIP system that was implemented the last time we all went to digital television, channels broadcast on one frequency and they seem like they're broadcasting on another frequency because your TV is doing tricks to make sure that you get the channel number that you're expecting. So it's really important to know if you really need anything in that low VHF range of channel 2 through 6 or in that high VHF range of 7 through 13. Chances are in a lot of places you don't, or at most there's going to be one channel. So choose wisely, because with a little bit of research, like I said, tvfool.com is where I go for this kind of thing. With a little bit of research, you can find out exactly what the real broadcast channels in use in your area are and take the right steps. Because if you can get away with a UHF only antenna, you can get one that's much smaller for the same amount of range. You can get an antenna that's not much bigger than a laptop computer, and yet it will get 45, 55, 60 mile range because it's got a great low noise amplifier in it. It really doesn't matter if you need a small antenna or a big antenna. You're going to find the one you need at solidsignal.com. We can help you. If you don't want to do the research yourself, contact us. There's a link at solidsignal.com that says Get Antenna Help. And you click on this, you fill out all the things that you know about where you are, and a real antenna technician is going to look at your information and recommend the right antenna for you. You can then talk to a real person and you can say, oh, well, I understand, these are the channels I get, but I'm not interested in this one. Can I still get away with a smaller antenna, or do I still need a bigger antenna? It's up to you. It's all available at solidsignal.com. And we are the leader in antennas. We're the ones who make it easy for you to get the free over-the-air television that you need. That's about it for this podcast. It's an easy, kind of a quick one this week. Do me a favor, like, share, leave a comment wherever you get this podcast. Subscribe if there's an option to do that. Always makes me look good to my bosses. I appreciate it, and I will see all of you next week.